Yes, I know that is the opening to the cartoon, but still, it's a catchy opening. Hey everyone, welcome to the ranking. Here's my ranking of all the X-Men movies. Yes, I'm ranking all the X-Men movies to celebrate X-Men Apocalypse. X-Men Apocalypse just came out, and I thought I'd celebrate it by doing all my rankings of the X-Men movies from my least favorite to my favorites. So yeah, I apologize in advance for my voice. I just got over a cold, so my voice is really scratchy. So yeah, I hope that doesn't bother you. And before I get to this ranking, I must say that these are all the live-action X-Men movies, no straight-to-DVD X-Men movies, and also I'm also including another movie. Yes, I'm including another movie in this ranking of the X-Men movies. So yeah, that's 9 movies I'm ranking. So yeah, here we go. Here's my ranking of the X-Men movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Alright, coming at number 9 is X-Men 3: The Last Stand. Okay. I don't think this is a lot of people's least favorites. Everyone knows this movie isn't very good, but this is actually my least favorite. Do I think it's the worst X-Men movie? No, but it's my least favorite because this ruined the streak of X-Men movies because the first 2 X-Men movies were so solid, but this is when Bryan Singer left, and they gave us Brett Ratner, and this movie is god-awful. I hate this movie. This movie just pisses me off the most. There are good things. Hugh Jackman's great, and Kelsey Grammer is great as the Beast. That's about it. The action isn't good. The effects look even worse than the first 2. Nothing very interesting about this movie. The Phoenix Saga, and they just ruined the Phoenix Saga. They weren't at all loyal to the source material like the comic books, and they weren't even as good as the X-Men animated series. They tackled the Phoenix Saga better, and this movie, she did it horribly. Frankie Jensen, she's great as Jean Grey, but she was just so over the top in this movie. They killed characters off, which they shouldn't have. Did it in such pointless ways, and wasn't at all dramatic or at all emotional. There was nothing very epic about this movie, or nothing even entertaining about this movie. I just didn't like this movie. I really did not. And it's about the cure of the mutants and stuff, and again, I think that's just a really stupid story. It's not very interesting. This movie isn't interesting. This movie has a lot of mindless and very pointless action scenes, and I feel like no one was trying with this movie. Yes, Hugh Jackman and Kelsey Grammer, I think they were trying, but I feel like no one just gave any effort in this movie, and it's not a good movie. This is my least favorite X-Men movie. I think my next one is the worst, but as least favorite goes, X-Men: The Last Stand is my least favorite X-Men movie. Coming number 8 is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Yes, I think this is the worst X-Men movie, but X-Men 3 just pisses me off more. This movie is just terrible. The story isn't done well. The only thing I like about this movie is the opening 10 minutes, showing Wolverine and Sabretooth through all the wars and stuff. That was kind of cool. Other than that, this movie's not very good. Like, Hugh Jackman is trying, Liev Schreiber is trying, but it's just not well directed. Gavin Hood directed this movie horribly. The execution in this movie is just terrible. And like, they got Ryan Reynolds in this movie to play Deadpool. They fucking ruined Deadpool. They made a Baraka pool. He looked like Baraka with Cyclops vision, and it was just stupid. They ruined Gambit. They ruined Wrath. They ruined Blob. Beak. They ruined a lot of characters in this movie, and it was just irritating. The action looks terrible, the effects look really terrible, and there's nothing really exciting or hard-hitting about this movie. It's just not a good movie. It's the worst X-Men movie, but it's only my second least favorite X-Men movie. Coming number 7 is X-Men, the first X-Men movie. This is actually a pretty darn good movie, actually. I do like this movie. This movie, it's actually a good movie. When I saw this movie in theaters when I was a kid, I was really excited about it, and I really liked it, because I watched the X-Men animated series as a kid. I read the comic books. I was a big X-Men fan. This movie was so good. But when X2 came to theaters, I'm like, yo, screw this movie. This X2's amazing. But this movie is good. It's a good start for the X-Men franchise. There's some things that just don't work. Some things are a bit dated now, but I love the opening. The opening to Magneto's story at the concentration camp is really good. I love how Rogue meets Logan. That's really cool, but the one thing about the older X-Men movies, they never did Rogue properly. Anna Paquin is a good actress, but she just never played the role of Rogue properly. She doesn't have an accent. There's a lot of powers she's missing, and she's still hard to be like this sympathetic character. Instead of actually being like a tough character, she just tries to get all these like sympathy from the audience and everyone. Just like, oh, poor me, I'm sad and stuff. Like, At times it works, like in this one it kind of works, but when they keep going, Anna Paquin just gets more and more pointless in these movies. And yeah, I still like this movie. Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen is great. Toad's pretty cool. It's Ray Park and stuff. I don't think Sabretooth is very interesting because all he does is growl and stuff. He's not very a compelling villain or anything. And I still think James Marsden is a pretty weak Cyclops, but the movie is a good start, and there's a lot more better X-Men movies than this, but it's a good start, and it's way better than X-Men Origins and Last Stand, that's for sure. Coming number 6 is X-Men Apocalypse. Yes, I'm not going to go into depths about this movie. I'm just going to leave a link down below to my review of X-Men Apocalypse. I did a whole 10-minute review of all the things I liked and disliked about this movie. This movie is pretty underrated. It's like, what is it now, 48% on Rotten Tomatoes? It doesn't deserve that rating. Basically, Rotten Tomatoes is saying X-Men The Last Stand is better than X-Men Apocalypse, and that is by far not the truth. That is not at all the truth. This movie has a lot of great things. Michael Fassbender steals this movie. There's some great action scenes, but there's just some things that just didn't work in this movie. You'll find all about that when you watch my review of X-Men Apocalypse. I'll leave the link down below. Watch that review, come back to this video, and see the rest of the ranking. Coming number 5 is The Wolverine. Yes, The Wolverine. Again, it's actually kind of an underrated movie. I still think people did like it. James Mangold directed this movie, the guy who directed 3:10 to Yuma and Walk the Line. This is a really good movie. This is just a good Wolverine movie, but also feels like a cool Japanese samurai movie. It's really good. This movie, again, it's not like a straight X-Men movie, but it's about Wolverine. Hugh Jackman's great. The action in this movie is very bloody, very disturbing, very gritty. It's more gritty in this movie, and I really like it. I actually showed blood on his claws for the first time. That's pretty awesome. It was pretty cool. I loved a lot of the characters in this movie. The only thing I really didn't like about the Wolverine is the villain Viper. Even in the comic books, I hate the Viper. I freaking hate her. But when I saw this movie, I'm like, well, maybe she'll be a good actress. She wasn't. They chose a terrible actress to play the Viper. She's terrible. But I love the side characters. I love the new characters. And of course, I love Wolverine. And I love the story of the Wolverine. How he's like slowly losing his powers. I love how they go to the backstory of Hiroshima and all that stuff. A lot of this movie just freaking works. It's pretty underrated and I really like it. I love the samurai kind of tone, and I love the grittiness, and I love Hugh Jackman in this movie, and I just love it. The Wolverine is a great X-Men movie. Coming number 4 is X2, X-Men United. Yes, I loved the first X-Men movie, but as soon as I saw this in theaters as a kid, this was like my favorite X-Men movie. I loved it. So from the opening scene with Nightcrawler at the White House, Alan Cumming did an amazing job. That sequence is one of the best sequences in X-Men movies. That scene is just amazing. Such a cool scene. A lot of this is just a way step up from the first X-Men movie. The performances are all way stronger in this movie. The story's much stronger. Brought in Stryker, played by Brian Cox. He's great in this movie. I love his plan to kill all the mutants and stuff, but then Magneto turns it to kill all humans. Really cool. I love this movie. I love that they also brought in Stryker's son, Jason. I love that they showed one scene of Kitty, yes, Shadowcat. Nightcrawler, again, was awesome in this movie. And just all the performances, they had more Pyro, more of Iceman, and they're pretty cool. They're good in this movie. Pyro's good in this movie, but he's terrible in X-Men 3. Same with Colossus. Colossus is in like 1 or 2 scenes, and I love the scenes he's in. But then in X-Men The Last Stand, just got, like, wow. Like, seriously, the effect on Colossus just got stupid in X-Men Last Stand. But anyway, the action's great, the drama's great, the characters go through more interesting things, the conversations people talk about in this movie, the issues they talk about in this movie are just much more interesting. It's also a pretty cool political movie, too, and I love X2. It's an amazing X-Men movie, and it's my 4th favorite X-Men movie. Coming number 3 is X-Men Days of Futures Past. Yes, this movie came out in 2014. This movie's fantastic. It's a time travel movie because the movie opens up with the world all at an end. The world has ended. The Sentinels have taken over, and basically Kitty Pryde has to transport Wolverine back to the 1970s and stop Bolivar Trask, played by Peter Dinklage. Yes, to stop Bolivar Trask from making the Sentinels, and this is a phenomenal movie. The opening, it just grips you right away, seeing all these X-Men die by these Sentinels and stuff, and Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, seeing them back again in this movie, they're all amazing. Hugh Jackman is fantastic. I love that Hugh Jackman, an older X-Men from the older X-Men movies, goes back in time and you get to see the new cast of the new X-Men movies. It's awesome. I love it. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender are amazing. Jennifer Lawrence is amazing. Peter Dinklage is awesome. That just goes to show you, it doesn't matter what size you are, you can play any role as long as you're a great actor. Bryan Singer returned in this movie, and it's a great time-traveling movie. It's also a great movie about hope. It's about hope, and there's a lot of dark things in this movie. You get to see a lot of characters that you know and love die in this movie, and the movie at the ending of this movie just does the complete 180 on you, and it's just such a good movie. It's got a great ending, amazing action scenes, and the acting is at its best in this movie. It is top-notch acting in this movie, and I love it. And the scene with Quicksilver is pretty amazing. Yes, it's awesome. But yeah, Days of Future Past is an amazing X-Men movie, and it's my third favorite X-Men movie. Coming number 2 is X-Men First Class. Yes, after Origins and Last Stand, I lost hope in X-Men. And when this trailer came out, I wasn't a fan of the trailer. I'm like, oh god, this movie's gonna suck. But when I saw this movie in theaters, it made me an X-Men fan again. Well, an X-Men fan of the movies. But this movie is incredible. This was like my favorite X-Men movie until this year. But this movie is so freaking good. I love it. It brought in the new X-Men, this new cast. It brought in the yellow suits, the classic X-Men suits. James McAvoy came in as Charles Xavier. He did an amazing job. Eric Ledger was played by Michael Fassbender. He was amazing. All the scenes with him in the concentration camp, and then him hunting all these Nazis is awesome. Kevin Bacon is amazing as Sebastian Shaw. Even January Jones is pretty good as Emma Frost. The performances are all amazing in this movie. I love the old school X-Men like Havoc, Banshee and stuff, Angel. They're all really good in this movie. Everyone's great in this movie. This was actually like my favorite X-Men movie. Well, technically, if you want to be technical, it is my favorite X-Men movie, but my number one, I'm going to count as my X-Men movie. But yeah, X-Men First Class, really well directed. Matthew Vaughn did an amazing job. Couldn't bring him back for the sequels because he just doesn't do sequels for some reason. But X-Men First Class is an amazing movie, and it's technically my second favorite X-Men movie. And my number one favorite X-Men movie is Deadpool. Yes, Deadpool. Yes, maximum effort. I love this movie. Some people are thinking, wait. Deadpool is technically an X-Men movie. Well, I'm counting it as an X-Men movie because Deadpool takes place in the X-Men universe, and it's a Fox Marvel movie. So, yeah, there's X-Men characters in the movie, like Colossus, and he makes references to Wolverine and stuff. And they have the fucking Xavier School for Mutants in this movie, so it's an X-Men movie in my opinion, and it's the best X-Men movie. Deadpool is an amazing movie. This is one of my favorite movies of the year. This movie is incredible. Tim Miller's direction is fantastic. The writing is hilarious. This movie is so freaking funny. This is hands down one of the best R-rated comic book movies and probably the funniest comic book movie. Ryan Reynolds was made to play the role of Wade Wilson, Deadpool. He was so good in this movie. The villain Ajax was great. Marina McCarran was really good. Her chemistry with Ryan Reynolds was really well done. T.J. Miller was amazing as Weasel. Everything about this movie just works. The comedy was great. The breaking of the fourth walls was so freaking funny. The action was also really well done, really well choreographed, and very bloody, and it just worked. And the soundtrack to this movie is just so funny, and it just works. This entire movie just freaking works, and I love it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year, and it's my number one favorite X-Men movie. So yeah, that was my ranking of all the X-Men movies from my least favorite to my favorite. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this ranking? And if not, what is your ranking of all the X-Men movies from your least favorite to your favorite? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.